Hi gang, it's Larry. In this video we are going to create a custom post type called books, and we are going to use a plugin to help us do that. There is a way to do it with all code, but I want to use a plugin to help me out because the code is a little bit nasty. And we're going to also create some custom fields associated with a book. We're going to use our plugin for that. We're going to be adding a tab in the sidebar that says books. That'll be an area for you or your client to go in and add new books to the database. And finally, we're going to create a way to display all of our books in an archive type or a multiple page, similar to your page that shows all your posts. We're going to have a page that shows all our books. And then we're going to create a single view for just one book. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you how you might do this in code. Sometimes I like to just use code because it gives me more flexibility and more control over the situation as opposed to using a plugin. Basically, I would copy and paste. I've got this little example code from the WordPress Codex, and I would copy this into my functions.php file, or I would create a plugin perhaps for that, but we haven't talked about how to create a plugin yet. So let's see what would happen if I put this in the functions.php file of my child theme. Oh, we want to be in the child theme. And paste that in and save. Now, this just simply registers the post type. It doesn't do anything about, there's a lot behind the scenes that involves saving data to the database and editing books, adding new. This is basically just going to put a tab up in our dashboard. There we go. We have a new tab called Books, and I guess I could add a new one. But I'm not sure if this would actually save to the database at this point. We'd have to go on and copy all of this code here and this code here, which involves handling the data. But we're going to use a plugin that I use a lot of times at work because it saves me a lot of time. And that plugin is called Types. First of all, let's take this out of there. We're going to... Alright, so go to Add New Plugins. And look for something called Types, although I think they've renamed it. Toolset Types. And activate. Okay, now that I removed that code from my functions file, that books tab is no longer here. We're going to put that back up here using the plugin. So under Types, go to Post Types. And here are some existing types. These are our default types. Here's a testimonials one that's created by a plugin. But we're going to add a new one for books. And this page here is basically the alternative to pasting in all of that code. They want a plural and a singular version. And this area here is the slug is the thing to keep in mind. In fact, I'm going to call it books. This is how it's going to be recognized in the database. It'll be all of these will be a post. All these books will be a post of the post type books in the database. So this is very important to remember. And from here, I'm going to remove the text editor from the books page. Actually, just remove that. Remove the editor and save your post type. And if I want, I guess I can even put in a nice little icon, let's see, to distinguish it. Book. Oh, there we go. That's kind of nice with this plugin. So now I have a tab for books with a nice little icon, and I can go in there and add new. Let's see what it looks like. Right now, it just is a title, and that's cool. A book's going to have things that are different than a post or a page. It's going to have things like author, ISBN number. Maybe we'll have a little image. I guess we could have used the featured image for that, but I kind of like to keep I want to keep these segregated, the custom fields segregated together into, I want to display them all right here and make it real clear for whoever's adding new books. So what we have to do is add some custom fields associated with books, the book custom post type. So we go to post fields, and we're going to, you create them in groups. And we can name it what we want here. I'm going to call it book metadata. Okay. Once you've saved your group, you can start adding new fields. So the first thing I want to do is, we'll use the title as the title of the book. I'm going to create a text input, a single line text input for author. And so book author, and it's going to create a slug for me. That will work. And at this point we can leave everything alone, and we can add another field. I'm going to put in, I know very little about books, but let's just use an ISBN number. So it's a catalog number for books. And I guess just to stay consistent, I'll call this book-ISBN. And I want an image. Let's see here. Where's an image? I want to upload a little thumbnail for my book. And we'll call this book image. And book-image will work. And we're going to add one more field. And how about a description of the book? Like something like an excerpt. Now we can choose a WYSIWYG text editor as one of the field types and call it book description. Okay. At this point we save our field group. So the next thing we need to do is to tell WordPress in what context to show these book meta fields. And we'll choose only on the book custom post type pages in the dashboard. And save the field group. Okay, now let's go and add a new book. And here we go. Here's all these new custom fields that we created for book. This is called a meta box right here, and that looks nice. So right now I'm going to go stop the recording and create two books just for the assignment. I'm only going to require two. Okay, so while I was away, I created two books, and if we look under all our items here we go. There's two books. So let's go back to our site. WordPress actually will already recognize these and have a way to display these. It creates a URL for books using the slug for the custom post type. So if I go to /books, I actually get something. Okay, but it doesn't show any of that new metadata that I wanted. And it actually provides a link to the single view. As you see, books / the title. Okay, all right, but that, once again, it doesn't have the metadata that we added. So I want to do that next. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, I go to the page template hierarchy in the WordPress Codex, and it tells me how to handle, how do I display all of a custom post type. Here's the rules. Create a file called archive-the post type slug.php. Okay, and how do I create a single page template for this? Single dash the post type slug here, and it says here if the post type is product, WordPress would look for single dash product. Okay, so I'm going to need an archive dash books and a single dash books. So go back into my child theme, and do I have an archive in there? No, I'm going to use the archive from my parent theme. Open that up, and I'm going to resave it as archive-books in my child theme. And I'm going to do the same thing with single. Open up single from your parent theme, and then save this as single-books in your child theme. Okay, so we'll save it remotely and go up to our child theme and call this single-books. And we'll do the same with archive. archive dash books. Okay, these should be good to go. Let's check here. I'm going to put a die statement in there beneath the header to make sure I got this right. And if I go to this URL here, I expect it to break. Yep, I have just the header. Okay, so I have my file set up properly. Next thing I'm going to have you do is to find the loop here. Let's just take everything out of between the while and the end while. And this is where we're going to echo out our metadata. Okay, so to do that, actually it's going to all pretty much be done within PHP. Now let's do a little we'll go between PHP and HTML here. Actually, what I like to do is to get the data first up here and then plug it in below. So first thing I'm going to need is the title, and I can say get the title. I could have just probably said the title in between these H1s, but I'm just going to try to remain consistent. Okay, to get the rest of the metadata, we use a special function called get post meta. First thing I need to get, how about let's get the image. I'll create a variable called image, and I'll type in get underscore post underscore meta, and this takes 3 arguments. Follow along carefully. You will have to put in post, post, an arrow, ID, comma. Now the name of the meta field prefixed by WPCF, because this plugin requires it. It adds it, prefixes it with WPCF. So WPCF dash, I believe I called this book dash image, the slug that was created. Here, I gotta go back here into post fields. And I look here, and let's see, book image. If I open that up, I'm trying to match this slug right here. And the same for all of these fields. So, WPCF book image. And I won't explain this third argument, just put in true. And a semicolon. Now, having done that, you can just kind of copy and paste and do the same for the other fields. Let's see, we got description, DSC, and what did I call that? Book description, book dash description, okay. So, and author was another one. And that was book dash author, I'm almost certain. And the last one was ISBN. And ISBN, I'm almost certain. Okay, so hopefully I've actually grabbed these values from the database this way, but I haven't obviously echoed them out yet. So the next step is to put them within HTML. And let's echo title. And next we'll just, how about in a P tag, we'll put in echo the description. And let's do an image. Now I think the image stores the source URL, so we echo out image within the source attribute. Boom. And I guess within H4 or whatever, let's echo out the ISBN. Okay. Be miraculous if this works the first time. So if I go back here, oop, I didn't remove my die. Good. Looks like this video is going to go over the 15-minute mark, so I'm going to have to pick up in the next video. Only got about probably about 5 more minutes left.